obviously. Little Kona, fat ass walking in the background. He always knows how to like look. He came back. That's hilarious. Oh shit. So what's up, man? You still not feeling good, huh?
Yeah. No, it's the insomnia that's been kicking my butt.
How do you even like? I thought you can't you just clear your mind? Just fucking wipe that shit.
Oh, it's this weird stuff that's taken hold. It's like I start to dream and then I get panic attack.
Weird.
And it pokes at me and it wakes me up.
You should fucking edible it up before you go to sleep.
We're in the wrong state for that.
So what? Fuck their laws.
You know?
Their laws. Let me just mail you a package of brownies. They wouldn't even know.
I just thought of something. You know what? Oh, sorry.
That yeah, I think that would really help is doing something like that.
You should probably do a whole, if you had 60 days, which most people don't have, you should honestly look into a Rick Simpson oil regimen. I mean, reset everything. I'm going to start filming with Barry here. He's going to do 5 grams a day. Fucking insane. I was like, are you going to do that much? He's like, you want to see me get younger and healthier, man? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, come film. He cured his lupus. He cured his, like, he's playing soccer again when he was about to have to go through knee surgery, and he never even, he's running. Like he did like a 48-mile hike and ran most of it and did it barefoot. Like fucking insane. And it's all just eating weed. He doesn't smoke it. I mean, he smokes occasionally, you know, for like socially and shit like that, but that's not his MO.
Yeah, that Rick Simpson oil, right?
Yep. Or he eats it raw, mixes it right in with the shakes in the morning, just fucking takes the buds right out the plant, throws them in. Like I eat them when I'm in there cleaning and shit. And it's like you get it's not really high. It's a totally different kind of feeling. It's more like just it's nice.
Well, that's what the cancer people were using, right?
Yeah, and the fucking epilepsy. That's what they're taking is the Rick Simpson oil. It's all of that shit. I mean, the dude that invented it, the dude that came up with it, he had the lesions on his face, and so he was taking the RSO and putting it directly on the lesions. And honestly, looking back, I should have done it with Hoppa. Hoppa had that's how he died, was that cancerous lesion that ate from his neck all the way down to his shoulder. If I would have done it when it was the littlest tumor, who knows? I already took him to surgery 3 other times. I should have just fucking made the Rick Simpson oil and put it on his little fucking lesion. Why not?
It's just that's concentrated pot, right?
Super concentrated pot with food grade alcohol, usually like Everclear and shit like that. And it's just it's not heated, you know, it's all done at a low temperature. So it's not psychoactivated weed. It's still got the THC. Like he argues that CBD without THC is worthless. And that all these people that if you're just taking CBDs for your cancer, you're basically just going to die anyways. You need the THCs with the CBDs. So, and that's what he helps with his people. And even if they're like, oh, I just want CBDs, but doesn't fucking tell them just because THCs might be unethical, but they're fucking cured. And so, you know, just with girls with MS, where he's working with a girl with MS right now, doing shit like that. Like, I mean, you're obviously not going to get neuro shit back, but you know, there's a lot. I'm not getting my eyesight back from weed, but your gut bacteria, your biome, your digestive, your fucking tumors, all that shit that's in our body. I mean, we are one giant walking eventual tumor. If we live to infinity, we're going to get a tumor at least once. It's just a mutated cell, you know? That's all it is.
Right.
There's contributing factors. There's obviously, you know, we don't say it's genetic when I'm pretty sure in our future we're going to find out that cancer is genetic. At least predisposed cursors. I'm not saying but like smoking would exacerbate it. You know, processed foods would exacerbate it. But, you know, I think we're going to find out. Because they just don't want to admit it. You know, they want to, because then, you know, people would stop funding cancer. And that's the fear. Is if they start coming up, oh, wait, some of these things are genetic, people would be like, well, fuck. All I got to do is go get a DNA test and then kind of do preventative stuff, and I don't really have to worry about it, and they don't want that.
Well, the thing about it is that even with genetics, it's only like 16%. It is lifestyle factors, things like that.
Oh, God.
If you keep your body in alkaline state, you can't have cancer.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing. I don't even know. What, eat lemons?
Eat properly. Don't drink tap water.
Nobody does. And all we have is tap water. I mean,
No, you can buy revert. You can buy. We buy water that's been completely RO'd out.
yeah, but then it's got no fucking nutrients. RO water's got no nutrients.
No, we have minerals added back in.
Add minerals and shit. God damn, that's a redundant process. Can't I just fucking drink river water? I think everyone overthinks shit. I definitely think it's the fast food. I definitely think it's the frozen food. If the food's pre-made, you know, if it's not a fresh beef patty, if these things are not from their state within a week and they actually have anything added to them, they're fucking, that's trash. I mean, it's people think that they can have milk and there's benefits to milk. Nothing has benefits if it's pasteurized. Not one thing. Like pasteurized milk got rid of all the good bacteria. What do they do? Add bacteria? You know, like fucking pasteurized orange juice. Gets rid of all the. Why do you think they have to add flavor packets? Why do you think
Trader Joe's has an unpasteurized OJ now?
Really?
Fresh squeeze. I buy. It's $5.99 a half gallon.
That's really not bad, man. Because I mean, you're not gonna. What are you gonna do? All that for your oranges? I mean, I fucking stripped my Tangelo tree for mixers, and probably only got like a couple gallons of mixers after stripping that bitch. Some lady came up to Zach and was like, "Oh, your tree bloomed." And Zach's like, "Yeah, I know. We've been watering it. We've finally been feeding it, and then it bloomed." And she's like, "Can I have some?" And Zach's like, "What?" And she's like, "Well, in our home neighborhood, that's what we do. We whenever fruit blooms, we share it with the neighborhood." And Zach's like, "Well, where's your fruit?" And she didn't have any. And he's like, "No, you're not getting any of it."
This is up there.
What?
This is up in Colorado.
No, this is right here. In fucking.
Oh, okay.
For the spring, our Tangelo fucking, you know, because I take all the runoff water from the weed and I fucking dump it on the Tangelos. I was dumping it on the fucking tomatoes, but some little cocksucking animal, a vole and something living in the trees out there, would always go and pick the ripe ones. I could have made so many fucking pasta sauces. Every single ripe one, he raped.
Huh.
Right before it'd be about to be like, because you couldn't pick it, you know what I mean? Like it was still green, but it was starting to get big. This little fucking animal. And he was starting to eat Tangelos too. Go in there, I'd find cored out Tangelos.
Couldn't figure out what it was.
I don't know what he is. He lives in that little fucking, there's a big, in the backyard, there's just a bunch of overgrowth. And then just little, Tony hears him every once in a while at night and runs out there, but never sees him. Or he's just a pussy and he goes out there like he would do anything, but I know Conan would just come right back if he actually saw an animal.
So what do you think of what went down this weekend with the G7?
I didn't pay too much attention because honestly I don't really give a shit. But because honestly nobody ever talks to the Bilderberg groups going on at the same time. And so the Bilderberg group, it has so much security that, and it's on taxpayer security that they don't even disclose how much. So that's the true leaders. If we're having a G7 summit that everybody's protesting and rioting against, while at the same time we're having a Bilderberg group that has 117 of the premier world individuals, and they're protected by so much security that they could literally like stop. They could go to war, you know, and this is at the taxpayer expense. So that's the real leaders of the world to me. So I don't really give a fuck about G7. I think he's smart. I think he said, yeah, it's time we let Russia back in, and I'm glad Italy backed him up. Why the hell did we kick him out in the first place? Crimea, get the fuck out of here. If we act like aggression, it should be the G7 a long time ago. We should have been kicked out because we are the aggressors and all this shit. I mean, it's garbage. It's garbage. What we've been doing to Russia, kicking them out of the Olympics, trying to do all this shit, it's fucking pathetic.
Yeah.
Trump's a boss, man. Basically told you guys, yeah, cool, we'll get rid of our tariffs. Once you get rid of yours, I'd be free with the free trade. That's what he wants. That, to me, is a free economy. That's what he even said. He said, you know, in his fucking economy class, that's what they taught us, you know, free trade. Like, I think it should be global, you know, and that's where these psychotic Sharia and psychotic Zionists in their own cliques, that's what they do. You know, they're interest-free loans. There's no such thing as, you know, a debt society over there. That's not what that shit is. You know, so I don't think we should have interest. I don't think we should have. But I think blockchain's going to change that shit. You see the head of the IMF came out and publicly admitted that the blockchain's probably going to disrupt central banking, and they need to basically adopt and curtail it quick, or they're going to be out on their ass. Because they already noticed that the applications being used for Bitcoin and all these other ones, they're like, oh fuck, man, like no one's going to need us in the future, because why would you need a central bank issuing you interest-based loans when you can do an ICO for a nation, and every investor it could be $55 from a guy in Philly could help build a fucking town in Nigeria, and their entire town's fucking income, that guy's going to be making dividends on perpetually. We don't need central banks. Fuck no. That's like the next two things. Like, I want to go get a big plot of land that's subdividable, and then fucking get a team, go try to float this around to a couple motherfuckers and do it. And like do a scalable ICO where it's 2 coins. The first coin is tied to the real estate, and it's sold. That's all there ever is, unless more real estate is built, and then that new one comes in. And then the secondary coin, which would be like tied to the businesses, the commerce of that. And I want it to be a studio. I want to go to a place like Georgia. I want to go to a place that already has tax incentives. And then instead of doing these fucking behind the closed door deals for movies, if anybody who held, let's say, fucking Lucasfilm coin, right? If Star Wars coin, you know, if you held it in 1974 and you still had that same coin in 1996, or actually when they just sold it for $4 billion, you would have gotten dividends. You know, so when they sold the $4 billion for Disney. So that's how I picture my films being financed in the future, is like BitShares, my new Wolf coin shoot I talked about, where basically the company itself is a self-sustained blockchain, but it creates companies that promote shares off that blockchain. So each individual film would be its own LLC on a blockchain, that anybody that was the holder of that token, and they would, like, once again, it would be a fixed token. It's not an economy where the more are getting pumped in, but however many investors are in it, that's, you know, that's it. So if I put a DAO out, or an ICO out, and for a movie, and it's scalable anywhere, I'm obviously not going to take $400 million for a movie. I only want $200 million for. You're never going to go over, but you maybe would take 25%, but you would just do a cap, you know. So these are not open ICOs. These would be like, it would have a budget, and everybody that paid in would be able to come see the script, have NDLs, you know, so they could never talk. Like, it would just be it'd be a shareholder, public shareholder of a film company, and the film company itself would be tied to the community, which I would posit bring jobs. And then you have any other kind of aspects. I mean, there's a bunch of, with an ICO community, I mean, you would basically force the US dollar to be, it'd be like almost monopoly money. Yeah, you could come here and you could use the US dollar, it's good for us, or you can use any crypto or our crypto and use that in the town. I think we're definitely going to have to go to that level as our, like if you just saw here in California, Jerry Brown said, you know, no, we're not going to bail out cities. So if cities are going to have pensions go bankrupt, and CalPERS is going to keep raising what they owe, you know, so they're like what they owe to their pensions, CalPERS is going to keep tacking it up, and they're not going to say, well, no, because then they're just going to go insolvent, and so they can't. You know, they're going to go insolvent, they're going to go bankrupt, and then these communities aren't going to get bailed out. You know, states can get bailed out, but it's already been proven, you know, cities aren't getting bailed out. So that's not going to be the case. A crypto-based city asset, where I think it's going to be the best thing to save it. And if you could pay the people, if you're like, okay, guys, yeah, I mean, anybody who's willing to participate, right now the U.S. government's saying that our city's bankrupt, but fuck them. Anybody who's willing to do it for work, and they'd obviously only be government jobs, would be rebuilding roads, rebuilding infrastructure, working for the schools, working for the unions. I mean, for like the, and then it's not socialism. It's kind of weird, because I think that the government should be allowed to be a participant in a free market. And if we have a bunch of unemployed, the government should be able to allow a universal basic income level. And so that if someone's like, hey, man, I don't want to only make $10 an hour flipping burgers. If I can go make $14 an hour building roads and do it and cleanups so we don't have all these forest fires, I can do all that, and it's paid, and it's actually backed with the 401k, so it's no longer a public pension that they'll match. Why the fuck would they stay? I think that would be better. I think that we need to have our government be a competitor and not be a monopolizer of goods. But right now, the free market is a monopolizer on our wages. If we allowed the government to come in and say, okay, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's our duty. We need to say, okay, yeah, what is a livable wage? What's an agreeable wage? And it's definitely not $10,000. So a UBI would suck because then we're just gonna have a bunch of people living in poverty. You know, people have a right to work. They want to be needed. They want, I mean, it might not be an enjoyable job. It might not be something that you're passionate about, but you got to work to live. Would you rather work for, you know, a corporate cocksucker like McDonald's, which is eventually, you know, by 2020 is going to have all kiosks because they realize that people actually spend more through the kiosk because they browse more. So their tickets were up like 15 to 20%. Think about that. So they get a cut on labor. And because now people don't just go up with a predetermined order, they're actually browsing. It's actually more profitable for McDonald's to have kiosks. Humans don't really have a purpose in our future. So, I mean, crypto-based communities where there is a basic income because as long as you're working for the community, there's a sustainable, you know, and it's, you know, I mean, you can't have it's not going to have everybody working for the government. You're not going to have, it's not going to be some dystopian thing like fucking Idiocracy where, you know, the computer fires everybody and nobody even knows what to do. You know, it's not perfect. I'm not saying it's going to be fucking, but I think it's worth a go. So that's kind of the next step is getting fucking the land, going to a place where it's subdividable and fucking let's making a play at going to like-minded motherfuckers and saying, hey, if you buy X amount, now you are a landowner. These are not, you don't get you could timeshare. That's the whole point, right? So let's say that if you know, 27,000, let's just go 27,000 so-and-so coin buys you the house, right? But let's say you only want to use the house 6 months of the year, right? And so you sell 13,500. Now somebody else has that. So it's just tied to that property. And if you just set it up like a timeshare, it'd be locked to the blockchain. If every day it'd be very simple. And so it wouldn't be like that. It would be an inflationary process. When you built one new house, you would add 27,000 to the market. This is 27,000 for sale, and it would obviously be sold in bulk. If somebody it wouldn't be able to be 27,000 people buying a day. It would be sold to an opportunity for one person. If nobody wants it, then 2, then 3, then 4, and then if it's going to be a hotel where you have one person owning a day for 365 days, that's the whole fucking point. Is that your community is that. It wants to be. What if a studio wants to buy one house, right? Because they want to produce their movies at your lot, and now they have a fucking place to put their actor every single time they're filming there. Or so they have 7 of them. There's no trailers. There's no whatever else. Everything's paid for. They're already in. Next to the lot. It's fuck, man. Like, I'm all in with cryptos. So I'm going to go do what I told you I'm going to do. So I'm going to fucking just go travel and hit. I'm not going to pay what is most people are paying right now, which is 50 to 60% of their income for a fucking place. We're being choked out by foreign investment. We're being choked out by, you know, domestic investment where people are buying 3rd, 4th, 5th. We're being choked out by banks that they fucked us, you know, and then they stripped everybody out. And then this market manipulation driving the rates back up. So everybody's just a renter instead of an owner. So, I mean, as a people, if only 25% of us, if that, probably 10% of us said, fuck you, I am not going to live in a place for a year. It's 1 year. And we all did it at the same time. That would make our rents crash. They wouldn't be at full occupancy anymore. So when you're not at full occupancy, you can't keep raising the rent 130, you know, 10%, 15% every year like they've been doing. We have the power as consumers. Nobody wants to give up creature comforts. Nobody, you know, if you have kids, if you have a wife, you can't. I can. And so I'm fucking done. Like, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. All cryptos, all day. And I'm not playing this fucking game. Done. Like, it makes everybody enemies when I'm an enemy to nobody. And I might talk like it's the way I come off. But, you know, I just talk like an asshole. I'm not actually an asshole.
Well, there are places in town in the country that you're not paying that kind of money for rent, but
nobody wants to be there. But are you going to sit here and tell me Phoenix right now, which is you know, cresting up towards Denver, which is $1,600 for a 2-bedroom, Arvada? These are West Coast regular domestic places. No, it's because Airbnb, if you can afford 4 places and you can hold it, and 7 months out of the year you're going to be able to get fucking almost max occupancy, you're going to make way more than you would just renting it out to someone. So we need to come up and say, hey, no, you don't have a right. If you don't own the property, you shouldn't be able to Airbnb it. We need to fucking, as a people, yeah, that's this is pretty fucked. Yeah, so Iowa's cheap. It's places you don't want to live. And I'm not saying that like I said, we already talked about last week, I don't think that these homeless that are here in LA should get Shelter Island. And fucking, what's that other one? Fiesta Island, that I go biking around, take my dog to, do all that. They shouldn't get that as a camp and have fucking houses there right on the fucking coast, which this is public land. It's just the absurdity. So I'm not saying people deserve coastal shit, but I'm saying that it's pretty absurd when it's basically 3 to 4 working adults living in one house. That is, to me, is absurd. Or a couple spending nearly 50% of their combined income on their place.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you look back on what happened in 2008 and you can almost think it was a conspiracy because
they did cash for clunkers. They got every single fucking cheap car off the streets. You can't even go on Auto Trader right now, and even the shittiest car is still $2,000 because there's no old cars anymore. There's no starter cars for someone to just go scoop up. It was more profitable for somebody to go get 8 G's to fucking take it to a cash for clunker and then get it on there to the guys. I mean, my 2016 gets average when I'm doing the city shit, 27 miles per gallon. I mean, my 2001 Jeep got 17. So you're going to sit here and tell me in fucking 15, 16 years, even after the cash for clunkers, you got all that shit off the fucking road. That's what I get for a high end, or I guess I don't know what it is, what level, a mid-end fucking luxury car, like that's supposed to be economical? Get the fuck out of here. Hell yeah, it's conspiracy because they took the fucking things out of our hands. They took that was a bank reappropriation of land. Yeah. And now we're in a time where, hell no, most Americans aren't going to be able to have a time where they're going to be able to buy a home. It's going to be great. If you already own the home, so the boomer generation, yeah, you'll make some good retire. When you sell, you'll be able to retire and go do something stupid. But the prospect of your kids living your dream ain't happening. Because if you think that the Canadian tariffs didn't stop Chinese investors, they're bumping it up again. They're going to have to bump it up. They're going to do a 2% of the value annually, and then they're going to do like a 1% rider, and then they already added like a 15%. That didn't even stop Chinese investors. We haven't even done that. So no. I ain't playing the game. I'm going to go buy land. You know what? We already talked. And you know what the biggest we need to hit it too, because we missed the ticket on Detroit. And I think if we miss this next one, we're fucking stupid. Thailand. Because Thailand allows, like America and like very few other places, and Malaysia, by the way. So Thailand and Malaysia allow foreign investors and to own. Most don't. In Mexico, you don't really own. In most of these places, you don't really own. But in America, we allow everybody to own. And in Malaysia and Thailand, so we need fucking Thailand's where it's at, Ribs. And they're developing like mofos right now. When it's going to be like Dubai was. When fucking Dubai was fucking 125 G's back in 2007. And now they're probably going for 1.4 minimum. These gorgeous ones. We got to stop looking at America because we only got 40 million middle class and we only got 15% of our population. So 15% of our population has a passport out of 350 million. What are we looking at? We're looking at 48 million, roughly.
Yeah.
48 million people. And that probably means they don't travel internationally often. That could just mean they went to Mexico. They went to Canada because now we have to have a passport for that shit. So we got 48 million people and we think we're going to dictate. Fuck no, man. The Middle East, fucking India, China's middle class. That's why Thailand, man. We should be buying over there. Getting the fuck out of here. This is not the next free place. I mean, I'd rather be in a totalitarian China because at least they respect the free market right now. Fucking for real, And because I'm an outsider, I'm not a Chinese, they're not going to go bust me as a heretic as long as they don't say anything stupid. Like, they got a good film industry. I'm white. That's exactly what they fucking want over there. I'm the bad guy over there. It's perfect. I get to go do what their Asians were doing for us for so long, being our bad guys. There's so many fucking places. And the bastion, in my opinion, of where the next, like where I see freedom, where I see the Constitution in essence moving, because let's be honest, the Magna Carta was founded in Britain, and we got people going to jail like Tommy Robinson just for speaking about these Muslim grooming gangs and reporting on them, and he's going to jail for a year on it. And they've already hidden him. Nobody can find, like, he's probably going to die in there. The guy that went to jail for putting a ham sandwich in a mosque, he got a 1-year sentence. He died in prison because the Muslim gangs killed him. So a 1-year sentence in a British prison, if it's anti-Muslim, means it's a death sentence. Because you're going to get killed by Muslims in fucking prison. So the Magna Carta was founded there. Sure, shit doesn't exist there. The Constitution was founded here. Sure as fuck doesn't exist here. Latin America is where it's at. I think that we're going to see huge boosts, especially after this fucking socialism collapse in Venezuela and places that are doing well, the capitalist societies down there that are actually doing well, free, you know, deeper south, where they're free, a little more free of U.S. control because we're so fucking overextended with Asia and Middle East. These places where they're like, okay, man, socialism doesn't work. Capitalism obviously fucking works. We have resources. We have people. We have, I mean, they got travel. They got natural resources. And plus, you could fucking manufacture. You can do everything else down there. It's, to me, I don't understand why Latin America hadn't got their shit together a while ago. That's going to be the future of freedom for me.
So Argentina or something?
Yeah. Oh, Uruguay's. I mean, like, Uruguay's fucking and Paraguay's slogan is that they're a free nation for any free person in the world. That's all they want. They just want a free. They have gun laws. I mean, they're going through a little bit of a government coup right now. In some spots, that was your Paraguay. Uruguay's a little more landlocked, and yeah, I mean, once they get their shit worked out, these are farmlands. They want freedom, and they don't have U.S. Visa travel. Fuck that. Like, if I'm going there, it's because me and the U.S. are no longer friendos. But they have open EU to every EU nation. They have like, it's like 115, and so there's a lot of places that like free thinkers and like free men and know that you'll bring business and know that you'll bring enterprise. Like, I believe on the global scale of what Booker T. Washington taught, it's that hard work gets recognized. And then basically, like, everything in the end works out. It's made that way. Like, it really, now you might get caught up and it might suck for you. It really does. It might suck for me. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying in the scheme of things, this shit works out. Because naturally, we're not all evil. We're not all malevolent. We're altruistic in nature. If we weren't altruistic in nature, we wouldn't have civilizations as they currently stand. We would have already been murdered out. We wouldn't have come to, like, there's a mutual need of wanting to be needed. Like, everybody wants to be needed. And the outcasts, the reason they do it, you know, when they're doing their murders, they're doing their things, now they just want to be known. But everybody wants to be needed. They want to be, you know, understood and fucking validated and have a purpose. Their purpose. Now, maybe there's 10% they could really give a fuck. But there's 10% that are really exceptional. So I don't really even, and I guess I'm just rambling again, but you know, that 10%, I think we as a society, we focus too much, you know, like I think we should just give people money and just say, okay, go be a drug addict. You can do it in a state-funded house, you know, so you're not out on the streets. You don't have to go suck dick for it. You don't have to, you're not living in squalor. You're getting clean needles. It's an addiction. If you want psychiatric care, any kind, if you want to just talk to somebody, it's here, right here. You don't have to leave the facility. You don't have to leave any of that. If you have no ambition, you don't want to work, and you don't mind living in poverty, and you do just want a UBI 10,000, cool. You know, I think we should have fucking you know, everyone bitches about the projects. That's fucking free living. Don't live there. Like, we've taken something and like housing and said, oh, it's a basic right. Yes. A roof over your head's a basic right. Not luxury. Not all your amenities. Now, at what level do we as a society owe anybody anything? And so I think basic necessities, we need to understand for a few people, if you don't want to play the game and you just want to subsist, we should let them. And because I think it'd be better for us. Our jails are so expensive. You know, we got shit that's super expensive. The drugs, the war on drugs, that's fucking trillions. We would make money as the government selling the drugs to the people and no longer fighting it, pulling them out of jails. I mean, how many of these people are breaking into houses to get money for drugs? So even though their crime is aggravated burglary, they were probably doing it for drugs. Fuck, 25%? I don't know. I've never been to prison. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure drugs play a factor in a few crimes.
It plays a factor in almost all of it.
Yeah. And if we just, it's not cold. It's not cold to be rational. It's really not. You know, to some people, because they're only emotional, rational seems fucking psychotic. But in reality, if we've lived this life, we've lived civilization, we've been playing it, documented for about 3,000 years. And if you want to count the Bible, which I don't, but let's just start at the Greek. You know, let's start at Homer. Let's start when writing really happened. You know, when storytelling really became real, when we were really able to pass that knowledge down. We've been playing the same fucking game over and over and over and over and over. Aristotle thought these thoughts, Plato thought in different regards. Some to some individual was more important. To some, the state was more important. The point is that over and over and over we played this game. It seems to me that the only one that really worked out is everybody wanting to contribute, because we all do. Everybody, and if you don't, you should be able to just sit the fuck on the sidelines and subsist off of our labor. And it's people getting buttered. They shouldn't get shit for free. They shouldn't get this. They shouldn't get that. Well, it's not free, because in reality, it's not free. Prisons are expensive. War on drugs is expensive. Food stamps are expensive. Welfare is expensive. You know, we start piling all this shit up, and you basically just say, man, maybe it's better just to let people be people, and you know, open up some things, really make it free. True libertarian place. I'm not a libertarian, I don't think. I don't really know the ideology, but I do believe in prostitution. I do believe that if we have to whore ourselves to live anyways, pay income tax, I don't think that somebody should be forced to make minimum wage of $10 an hour when they can make $100 to $1,000 an hour. So if I had the option, I'd do it. Like, we have to do this to survive. Let's not. No, I mean, we watched. Fuck, Ribs. Your mom died in this system. Not died. Was put down in the system.
Oh yeah.
Fucking fed. She got MRSA. Just sits there. They want her off. It's Kaiser. You know, she's on Medicare, on Medicaid. I was with her in the hospital one time, and because Grandma had pride, and they asked her how much pain she's in, she would only say a 5. I was like, and so we'd sit there for 9-10 hours, and Grandma would start to pass out from pain. And so we'd have to leave and come. I'm like, Grandma, you have to tell these people 10. You know, some assholes coming in with a broken arm, and now they're saying, oh, they have priority. So no. Shit stacked against us. Insurance stacked against us. That's like I said, blockchain would free this. Imagine an insurance fund where it was just an investment fund with caps, and so it was an actual savings account. But you didn't have to jump. You didn't have to be smart to know this shit. Like, you could go do it right now. We could all go get fucking life insurance, and it would actually accrue, and we could actually become our own bank and take loans off of it. But we could do that with the blockchain. And imagine the fund. Imagine the size of this fund. I mean, how much do you think AIG's profit is? How much do you think these motherfuckers, if these were people-owned insurance funds, fuck you. No, I just think I want it to collapse. Because then people will wake the fuck up. It already has collapsed, in my opinion. There is no up. The market's not like, there's not going to be a time when people are going to be making something that's okay. I can actually go afford a house. Phoenix is like the last bastion of it, you know, and on the West, you know, Nevada's already too high because they like we talked about, the pension funds bought up most of theirs. Phoenix, you still can get something for 200, 300. So yeah, there's a few spots, and if you're smart, but what a lot of these ones, these Midland, Texas, because their pipeline and their rigging is going up so much, and people can't hire people in Midland right now because, like I said, why are people going to go work for making, you know, when they can go make $28, $30 an hour because these oil companies are hiring anybody for the rigs. So people are making 28 bucks to survey, make 20 bucks an hour to do all this shit. So that there's a shortage of jobs in Midland, but houses are $300,000. So do those houses really have a value of $300,000? Or 30 years from now when those rigs are dry, is it going to be another Detroit where we basically had all these workers, we got them in way over their heads in mortgages because they're making good money, and they're still paying. So when the oil fucking shits out, or whatever the fuck goes down 20, 30 years from now, they're still just going to have paid off mostly of their interest if it was 20 years from now. So they've only paid off mostly of their interest. Now they're in a house that's over their head and there's no industry. Same like Detroit. They're doing this like the Silicon Valleys. You think that San Francisco is going to like survive like this? Even Utah's hitting it. They're gorgeous, but they're not. You cannot have $500,000 as your average fucking.
Oh, I know.
I don't get it. I'll see a future when we just start telling people, "Why am I?" Do you have your sound on? Just now, I'm not hearing myself.
I was hearing myself through you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, now we're good. That was weird.
It's, well, this one will have to be a short one. Holly's got clients that are coming. I can hear them.
No worries. It was just well, there was no set anything today, anyways. It's just like I said, done fighting it. If people were smart, they would go buy land as a group, make sure it was subdividable, so that even if your group wanted to sell whatever, they could only sell fractions on it. But that's legal. And then you build your own houses on it as you make more money. We need to start doing group community. We need to start teaching motherfuckers that fuck the banks. Why would you go get a over leveraged loan where you're going to end up paying 3 times what your mortgage is by the time it's done? Everybody, if you're getting a traditional loan, you're going to pay about three times. Because if you got a $300,000 loan over 30 years, you're going to pay about $900,000.
Right.
It's like putting $3 in and getting $1 out. Doesn't make sense to me. You know, when you all cash it out and you feel good. Oh, my equity, not equity. I mean, yeah, it's like when you got to live in it, which is a better thing. You know, at least you got to. That's what we need to start saying is mortgage is basically you're able to lock in your rent rate, because we've noticed without rent control it has been rampant. And I thought rent control was a joke, and I could see why landlords would want to get off of it. But without it, you know, my friends down here just had to leave because they fucking raised it $350. Rent raised $350 a year. How the fuck? Like how? What right do you have to just say, well, this is worth $300 because that's what they can do. They rented a few out for it, and now they can just be like, well, fuck this guy. It doesn't matter if he's living there. We can get $350 more for it. If he doesn't pay it, somebody else will. We need to take that power back. We need to take that power back.
Of $350.
It's huge. When most of us are already paying the majority of our checks towards those places to begin with, which are barely adequate. 2-bedroom apartments. I mean, my boy Dan's ecstatic. He fucking left San Diego and he's got a 2-bedroom place down in downtown Phoenix. I think it's only like $1,400. But so, you know what he was paying in fucking for what 24 or some shit. But I don't even think Phoenix should be that high. There's nothing in Phoenix that offers that. To me, like you have to have things that there's no jobs, no real job. Like what market is in Phoenix?
Some tech stuff.
Some tech, exactly. It's just a hodgepodge. Like there's Brown and Caldwell, you know, there's the Fidelity, there's randomness. There's probably I would imagine right now a lot of people are employed in real estate because fucking Cali's fleeing. You know, I guess as transportation gets faster, what if there's a bullet train that gets you to Cali in fucking 45 minutes? I mean, people are already sitting in 2-hour traffic in LA if they're coming from some places out. Why not just take a 45-minute bullet train from Vegas or Phoenix?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I got to run. We'll talk next week.
I'm going to talk privately with my audience, from all my 0 viewers out there. I'm going to smoke a nice little bong. I'm going to see how things going.
All right.
Later, Riz. Feel better.
I will.
Probably should start talking about a Rick Simpson oil regimen for real.
Yeah.
I know it's 60 days, but it's about to be summer for you. And so if you got 2 months, and towards the tail end of it, your tolerance is good. So you're no longer, it's just the first week. And if you don't want to be a bitch about it and you don't mind being comatose for the first week, you just jump right in with the gram and you'll spend the first week sleeping. Do a half gram in the morning, fucking spend your day sleeping, do shit you got to do in the afternoons, take a half gram before you go to bed. Yeah. And actually get your fucking body back together. I mean, it's worth a shot. It's worth a goddamn shot. I'm going to turn some shit, like I got so much extra herb, I'm just going to turn it into Rick Simpson oil and I'm going to fucking do it while I'm in the mountains.
Okay.
Living up there.
I'll buy a bottle or two.
Yeah, that's what I was I'm just telling you, dirt cheap is fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to tell you how it goes. Like, I had knee issues, broke my kneecap, did all that shit. I want to see. I want to put this in conjunction with the exercise and see how the fuck it goes.
Yeah.
Well, Riz.
All right, buddy. Love you.
Look, dude.
See ya.
Later. Let me know if you're coming up in June. Ah, fuck. Let me know.
Okay.
What's up? It's just us. Secret time. Ooh. Ooh. Got some hot gossip from our betches out there. Oh, man, shit. Are you ready? Platinum blue drink, guys. Look at that. It's fucking delicious. This is why YouTube said I'm not for advertisers. Fuck you, man. They still advertise my shit, though. They still put ads on it, and they make money. And this isn't about money, though. Because if it was, I probably would have fired myself a long fucking time ago because I ain't good at it. Yeah, but for real, motherfuckers, you should listen to what I said. I know I ramble a lot. But if you guys have opportunities to, and it doesn't matter even if they're great friends, because at this point, make everybody cash up front. You can get plots of land. I know Maui just got hit with that volcano, but I mean, that means their market's going to go down. Like, it's going to be a good time to buy because everyone's going to be like, well, fuck, another volcano. And everyone's going to be like, well, why would I buy there? There's an active volcano. So it's going to make markets good there. These are about setting up your freedom. That's really the truth of the matter. Because your place is a prison. Your house is a prison. Your apartment's a prison. You're tied to it. You cannot leave it. If you left your job, you'd lose it. So that's not a free place. That's why most life is filled. I mean, cash is they say it's the root of all evil. Well, it also seems to be the root of all that anxiety. It certainly is the root of a lot of people's fucking breakups because it puts a strain. It's fucking hard. It's a hard motherfucking life. And when we talk about, like, in this country, we're always like, well, the 1%. The 1%, most of those people don't even have $1 million cash on hand. And I know that sounds ridiculous, right? But you're thinking of these people as some millionaires with lavish money doing things. If they don't even have $1 million cash, most of the time, they're not going to be able to fix themselves. If this market hits again and they lose another asset, their house goes down, they're underwater 2 times. There's a whole bunch of things that people are barely hanging on by. And it's because we've been taught that this prison system of a domicile, live, work, which you don't even get to deduct, by the way. So if you had a small business, you'd get to deduct about 25% of your house. So it's obviously imperative for everybody to go out there and get a tax ID number. It's free. You don't have to actually go through and get the LLC and do that shit. Just get a tax ID number. And let's say you make straw dildos out of, organic hemp. And you whittle them and you do all your shit right there. Well, that's 25% off your rent. Everybody should be doing that. You could be fucking. You don't have to have sales. You just have to have fucking a record of you actually putting your effort towards it. Go fucking make a Shopify store, and sell things that you're drop shipping, but also sell things that your leg works in. Just start being smart. Start understanding that to this system you don't fucking matter. And that's like the hardest thing I think for people to grasp is in reality. And it's not just this. I mean, it's in death, it's in everything, is that life abides. It goes on. So everyone tries to, I think, grasp at what we got. And in reality, you don't realize that it's not the Matrix, it's not anything else. This is straight fucking prison. This is prison by choice. And, you know, it's freedom of choice. And that's why I said, if you want to be one of the few, get the fuck out. If you got an opportunity, and this is not just for men. This is not, oh, you're a young man, you make money. I'm not saying quit your jobs. I'm saying reduce all your expenses. You know, if you have an opportunity to go couch surf for 6 months, or you can rent a room in your friend's place for a fraction of what you're paying for a place on your own. You could suck it up for 8 months to a year, and you put all the money as if you're paying for that higher thing. That's the thing, it's the discipline, you know. And that's the problem, is why people get in these shortfalls with these prison houses, is that when your money goes up, your expenses go up. Wrong. Learn to live with less. Once you can learn to live with less, and you don't need, and you know what makes you happy. That's the thing, is everybody needs frivolities. Everybody needs to be able to release. But once you know what you need that makes you happy, you can cut out all the other shit. The shit that it's always in your ear telling you need, but in reality, you never fucking wanted it, never needed it. Fucking all your Bed Bath & Beyond stuff filled in your fucking cabinets. That's why garage sales feel so fucking good. Spring cleaning feels so fucking good. It's shit that ties you, and it's the sense of, oh man, it's fucking weird. It's kind of terrifying, because this becomes your identity almost. You know, there's obviously a certain degree of people that live in their possessions, but I mean, everybody wants to be something in the eyes of somebody. So it's not pretend like everybody wants to be destitute, but the shit, man, it really can become a burden. And I mean, maybe I'm just too quick to torch everything and run. I'm pretty good at that shit. Ask my track record of girls. Shout out. Love you, babies. Wish I made it work. I wish I wasn't a piece of shit. Bong rip. An honor. Because most of us, honestly, are pretty easy to make happy. Validation. Peer validation. Keeps playing the game. That's why they don't use the tactics that they used from the Dark Ages. They don't use violence. They didn't use pain, because population would be the uprising. But you use shame, and you can start turning lifestyles. You can start making opinions where basically people would, oh God, they shun the opinion holder through shame. Now, that's an easier form of control. It's why we have everything. It is a social construct. I love society. You know, look what the fuck I'm on. It's a glass screen. All the electronics inside. I mean, this is thousands of years of human evolution and of engineering evolution. You can't even have clear glass without fucking pre-existing clear glass. Think of that. That means that you basically had glass being built. It's a process. And so this screen that I'm sitting in front of, so I love this shit, but it is out of control. And it is no longer, it's a fucking hydra. Cut off one head, you know, oh, Facebook, we're sorry. I mean, all these commercials coming out. Our data breaches, sorry. Oops. Hey, remember that credit card we asked you to store on us and we said it'd never be safe? Sorry. Oh, remember those nudes you sent to your friend and they were secured? Sorry. Fuck, you're sorry. Why are you storing our shit on the first place? We're not your commodities. We're not. You know, our data mining, all this shit, and all people need to do is just say no. Oh, absolutely not. And it's pretty, everyone's like, well, how? A VPN. A fucking VPN. That's it. Okay, with the VPN, changes your IP address. An IP address allows all these contractors to track you and say, oh, this person always goes to these sites. We start selling them these goods. We can do these things. Okay? We need to disrupt these things. Oh, overload their ad clickers. There's some I'll post the link in the video. There's some things you can get that literally goes on, and all it does, it's an extension for your add-on, a Google extension. All it does is just false click all these companies so that Google has to pay all these companies a shit ton of money for clicks. So you can go pick any company, and if you got friends that are like, you just click, And you don't even have to do shit. It's just a fucking little sidebar. And Google's going to be hemorrhaging money out of their methodology of payouts. They want to subvert what you can and can't see. You can go see the difference. DuckDuckGo uses Google's algorithm. It's the same algorithm. It's actually piggybacks it, but they don't have any of the filters that Google has. You can go do parallel searches. Parallel searches for controversial shit. I don't care what you want to search. Just go do it. So type in some things that are taboo. That men and women have disparities in IQ and perhaps maybe disposition of career. Technical versus more analytical. Okay. Or you just Google those and then do it on DuckDuckGo, even though the same algorithm, and you tell me it's the same. Because it's not. Because they want to manipulate what you can and can't see. We shouldn't be giving these motherfuckers anything. We should be sabotaging what they have. Saboteurs, when people, like, you don't have to be an active participant of the revolution. And I'm not even, like, revolutions don't have to be violent. But we have to very well admit that this is a revolution. It is a revolution right now. Like, we are in the times of a revolution. We have $4 trillion going missing. The federal government just saying, oopsies, we don't know where it went. And that's our money. That's our money. And everyone's cool with it. Everyone's cool with the fact that, we have people going to jail. We have fucking First Amendment rights being violated in the names of safe spaces. We have Second Amendment rights about to be trampled on in the name of what? What exactly? I mean, there's more gun attacks right now up in the UK than there ever were. Could it be that guns and violence are not? Maybe. What I'm saying, maybe they're not. Maybe there's other factors that contribute to violence. Not just socioeconomic. Our revolution with our government, it's tyrannical government. It really is. When we lost common law courts, when man lost the ability, I mean, we have them now. The only thing we have left is jury nullification. That is what we have. Any crime that does not have an injured party needs to be jury nullified. Any crime that's just against the state, IRS, marijuana, any drug offense, any person, if it's just a drug offense, if it's a drug offense tied to a laundry list of other offenses, I get it. But if it's just a drug offense, jury nullify. It is your duty as a jury member to protect what liberties we have. Shit, I mean, maybe that's why they don't even call me for jury duty. Because they actually give a fuck about the person's rights. Shit's not gotta be violent, guys. On the left and on the right, you guys are assholes. You're Antifa, you're fucking Nazi, you're like what? You're both fascist. Both fascism. Oh God, what shocker. Oh, communism. One cunt hair away from fascism. Like once you start putting the state's interest in, even if it's the name of all, in front of the individual liberty, you no longer have freedom. You cannot have the state above the individual. You cannot have the community above the individual. Because what if the community turns on the individual and he is, oh, well, I'm just the minority. Yeah, oops, doomers. It's an idiotic fallacy of democracy. Is the tyranny by the mob. I don't think there should be safeguards for fucking voting. The safeguards are in place in our litigation systems. We shouldn't even have laws coming on the books where an asshole can fuck with your stuff. Because it shouldn't even came in the first place. Doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Can't even buy a house without an HOA anymore. Jesus, and you guys are still buying places where you could actually lose your fucking house because of an organization says that you're doing something wrong. Oh, well, your hedges. We want, Florida? The girl that is actually getting fined, and her and her husband might actually have to go to jail because the state's forcing them to plant grass, albeit now that they've gone to court and proven that she's allergic, they only want her to do 15% of their lawn. 15% of her lawn. When she's allergic, they're still trying to force. Because that's what the HOA dictates. This is the state and an HOA coming after people. Tree houses they do it for. You can own land, but if you build on your land improperly, well, the state's going to come and tear that shit down. Catching rainwater? Catching our government's rainwater? That's jail time, bitch. Free. Shit, the revolution's already here. You guys don't even get it. That's why it's so funny. That's why it's so good to be a comedian. Because, I mean, like I said, revolutions are violent. We have internet. I mean, we're seeing it. Like, I love what I think the Black Lives Matter bastardized the police accountability. I really do. I think that if Black Lives Matter never came about, because it's a very ethnocentric and it is violent. It is fucking, you might say not every member, but it is militant. We get rid of that, and we actually have this conversation based off of how it should have been. A couple of art cards. But no, we have this conversation properly, and we actually say, okay, I kind of got a little derailed. Some fucking tired hound barreling around. Oh, wait, shit. Actually fucking came up to my house. Are you fucking serious? Not. Yeah. I might sound like a zealot. Might sound irrational. Might sound like I'm wearing a tinfoil hat. I can make one real quick so they can't read my thoughts. But all evidence, I just recognize patterns, man. I saw it back in 2001 when our markets first crashed right after 9/11, and we covered it. I mean, everybody just was in 9/11, but our markets tanked big time. Massive layoffs. You get bolstered up with the war, 03 through fucking 2010, and we even have a crash in the mid-time, 2008 housing market crash. I mean, when has it ever gotten better? When is it? I mean, it's been perpetually, it's like calm. We're in the eye of the storm. But if you don't think there's a shitstorm coming, Mr. Leahy, you're fucking dead wrong. Dead fucking wrong. The most expensive stock market. These are propped up by companies that are now taking massive hits. Not Apple, but Apple's they're not having the hot sales that they were. I mean, for iPhone 1 through 5, maybe, they were just the hottest ticket. And now what? You get the last, oh my God, I think she was coming up because I was talking about Black Lives Matter. And she's going to come say shit to me. That's fucked up if that's the case. Because when she heard me say that, then she walked away from the front door. She had a dog and everything. Get the fuck out of here. Which brings me back to it. Black Lives Matter delegitimized this because the guy that killed those Dallas cops that did it for Black Lives Matter killed 6 people. Tactically, very, very, very tactically. So we obviously had to have some military training. But now you got a whole bunch of people saying, fuck you. Fuck your Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. That's one camp. And then the other camp's Blue Lives Matter. It's like, no, fuck you. Our cops are putting their lives on the line. And then the other ones, well, hey, everybody's lives matter. I'm across. I get it all. I do get it. Because Eric Garner being choked to death for a fucking cigarette, just because he's a big guy, these are I got choked out by a lifeguard, attempted choked out by a lifeguard here in PV. And when I lit him up and took off, they sent 3 squad cars, and a helicopter after me. And when I stopped for the cop, and they said, are you going to keep running? I said, no, you're a cop. That was a lifeguard trying to put me in a chokehold. I ended up getting cuffed, talked. Luckily, I'm white as fuck. And got cuffed, talked to, and got a ticket for open container. That wasn't even my container. That I told them wasn't my container, just because they had to give me something. They told me if I didn't sign it, that it was Friday, they would take me to jail, and I wouldn't get it until Monday. I know the game. I knew they would. Because it is the truth. I'm not going to get seen till Monday. I don't give a shit. I'm going to sign your ticket. So what I do, I signed the ticket. I went to court. I said not guilty, and I just never showed back up. Ever. Never had an issue. I even looked up, not even a warrant. Not even a fucking, I owe them money for these things. These are overreaching arms of the law. And Black Lives Matter delegitimized true scrutiny into that. And I think it is a delegitimized disinformation campaign. Is because now it split the camp. We can no longer say, wait a minute, man. Cops were planting drugs. It's known. We've seen them plant firearms thanks to body cams. We've also seen thanks to body cams that people have been also lying, that they weren't racially profiled or racially attacked. And thankfully, the cop was fucking wearing a body cam because they could have been facing some serious shit. So they've helped both sides, and we've started to realize, oh, wait a minute, man, there's some assholes on this side and some assholes on that side. But we can't have that dialogue now because now it's, well, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, or all lives matter. Get the fuck out of here. No, we should be looking at overreaching arms of law enforcement. Why are they able to, from a traffic stop, basically take someone's life? You know, or for a misdemeanor, become an execution. We can't even scrutinize this shit now because now there's not even a dialogue. There's no longer a public discourse. So why is there internal investigations? Why is there not community investigations? Why does each county not have an investigation of its police departments? These are incorporated departments. We have two things. We have a sheriff, which is elected, and he's accountable. Okay, so are the deputies. They're held accountable through our elections. We don't get to elect incorporated police. They were established to make sure that the workers kept working in the 50s and didn't establish unions. And now they're here to extract tax. Well, I mean, good drivers have fucking crippled our police. What do you think driverless cars are going to do? Do you think that we're not going to get taxed in other ways? This is how our cities make revenue. This is how LAPD, this is how these people make millions and millions of dollars, is off of traffic citations, parking citations, things that are going to disappear. If you have, I mean, think about it. If you have a car and you're sitting in your office for 8 hours a day, right, and it's completely driverless, and we pass legislation in the state that basically says you can don't have to have the hands behind the wheel, and it's going to happen in California. It's going to happen in some states, Nevada too, where you're not going to have hands on the wheel. Why would you not have your car rented out to like a place like Uber or Lyft, doing rides for you for free, making you money while you're sitting at work? And never, so you think the same thing at night, right? So you're parked at home, and you're going to park on the street, a metered street, or where you're going to be able to get a parking ticket if you're there for 2 hours, or if you're there on a Sunday morning, or you can always have it so your things literally gone at the exact same time. Hey, go drive around the block for 2.5 hours while the fucking street sweeping's going, or park across the street. There's so much shit you could do. Like the freedom of this, that is locking everything up. And like I said, these disinformation campaigns on the right and the left. If you got when you have a free speech rally and then you have people show up with Nazi flags, those are plans. Just like when you have any other thing and you have violent Antifa, those are probably fucking FBI instigators trying to get shit going, just like they were in the Bundy camp. Why do you think they had to drop the Bundy trial? Because all the instigators were FBI. So every single person that was their charge for getting all these people as a violent group was an FBI instigator. That's what they do. If they instigate a riot while you're out protesting, now you're a rioter. Now they can racketeer all you people. It's a disincentive to be able to be on the streets. Now, you blocking roads, fuck you. That's not what protest is about. Protest is peaceful, not disruptive. Like that's the thing is everyone likes to. MLK would be proud of me because I do this shit for all my niggas. Yeah, right. You think that's what he'd be proud of, man? Like, get the fuck out of here. 70% of people. This is across the board. Like, we have fatherless homes. This is the norm. It's the norm. If you know me, I'm not a fucking traditionalist. But there is a sense of stoic responsibility that people need to fucking take. And they need to step the fuck up. Across the plate. Across the board. Step up to the plate. Men, women. It's this passive, eyes in the ground mentality. Like the eyes are the gateway to the soul. And if you look at everybody in the eyes, they mostly look away. Or some people take it as a threat. Just for looking at somebody in their actual eyes. People avert their eyes, terrified, because nobody likes this shit. You wouldn't have an apathetic nation basically killing itself with drugs. Whether if you're in the whites, you're dying from opiates. If you're in the blacks and the Latinos, you're dying from the amphetamines and the cracks. Same with the fucking Pacific Islanders. That's got one of the biggest meth. We're dying across the board. Suicide, loneliness, apathy. Quit averting your eyes. Quit being afraid to bare your soul. You're not ashamed. You're like marked by your shame. You're not marked by anything else. I don't get that shit. Stop judging others by what you think of them, or what you think of their ideals. You generalize so fucking much. you can have differences of opinions and understand that it actually takes a life to formulate an opinion. For real. That's why nobody really ever, you might be in unison on one opinion across the world over, right? But you're not going to be in unison about all opinions. It takes a lifetime to shape opinions. Life experience is shit you go through. No respect. And it starts itself. You can see there's no self-respect. You know, if a 10-minute mile puts you in the top 15% of all Americans, that's a fucking problem. If you're a nut or a zealot for your health, I don't care if you're vegan. That's cool, man. But it's not the end all be all. You know, you also, but I'd rather have a zealot of health than a glutton of apathy. And there's too much apathy. I mean, and you can see it in fast food. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. And there's nothing wrong with it. And it's if you take it as it is, you know, if a soda is a rarity, if these kind of foods were a rarity, know that they're not for our systems. Our systems cannot process this shit. It's not. It wasn't made to. You know, these preservatives, these fucking additives, these enriched wheats, it's shit that honestly, man, as a body, you got to think for every human cell you have, there's 3 bacteria, 3 bacteria cells in your body. So in reality, you're maybe 1/4 human. This is a suit. Shit makes it up, man. You got a biome in your stomach. You know, we've crushed it with antibiotics. So we got this fucking runoff with fucking antibiotic-resistant MRSA and shit like that that's gonna fucking go for our elderly who are in these homes. The vulnerable. Open wounds, because you took an injury. Now your immune system's down. The dependency. Start starving yourself. Start seeing what your body can do. Test it. Do things you've never done. Longer hikes than you thought were possible. Even if you can't, even if you gotta stop, even if you gotta camp that night. Sleep under the fucking stars because you can't make it back. Test yourself. Be great in your own aspect. No, regard your mind. A body. Definitely your spirit. That seems to be the thing we lack in me too. God damn. It's okay. I can do the body and I can do the mind. And then when it comes to spirit, I don't have time for that. Who's got time? 15 minutes to meditate. Fuck that. And I'll fucking watch fucking 2 hours of Rick and Morty. Fucking play some PUBG. Talk to Zero. It's like a fear of things we all know that'll make us great and we hold back. Comment. Let me know what you guys want to talk about next week. Anger. We're happy. Like I said, the news just happens to be angry because it sells. Doesn't mean life's angry. Doesn't mean the world's angry. Doesn't mean the world's dangerous. Some parts are. Sadly, my little Mexico is going through fucking serious problems right now, some cartels. It'd be tits if the U.S. government actually said, okay, hey, here's some, if we didn't send our army, if we sent them federal agents. Thousands of federal agents. And they fucking went to war with cartels. Real war. We're starting wars in fucking shithole places that, I mean, we have no right. No right. I actually shouldn't have said shithole because in reality, I'm on their side. Like, we have no right instigating in these places. I like Iran, you know, I like Russia, I like Japan, I like all these places. Like, I'm been to a lot of countries. I would say I'm an ally to all. I don't think anybody would really consider me an enemy. I mean, there are probably some girls that think I'm a dickhead. Not an enemy. It's a long one today. It's a long one. Fuck, man. I kind of want to get a six-pack. You know, that's the thing, is there's such a stigma. Back to the just get the fuck out there. Comfort zone. God, me too, man. I need to go do some fucking stand-up. I've been telling myself that for a while. I'm not even afraid of shame. Like, I guess it's laziness. You know, by the time 9 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, oh, old Mike, I'm an old bitch. Get out of my comfort zone. I'm forcing. Sometimes life forces you. Don't let it get you down. Like you don't. You can either succumb to your situation and accept it. And I'm not saying roll over. Or you get the fuck out. No other options. There's no complaining. There's nothing else. But you can accept it. And you can be the best in it. And you can get the fuck out of it. You gotta accept it. If you let it eat you, you become a victim. If it's never your doing. If you could have just done this. Responsibility to yourself. West Side for Life, dogs. I mean, the East Coast, fun to visit, but in reality, fuck cold, hurricanes. Yeah, pass. West Coast for life.